cat's being really cute right now. Hi, kitty. You wanna play with me? Hey, y'all. Vlog number 1. So, if you know anything about my channel, you'll know that it's pretty much non-existent. The main reason for that is I'm in China. Ni hao, y'all. And yeah, so I've been living here for the last 4 years. I thought I'd give vlogging a little bit of a chance just because right now gaming is not really, the videos tend to be longer. I usually do about 30-40 minute videos, and that takes about 12 hours to render. No, but also the fact that I'm living in China. That's not something a lot of foreigners say. Sorry, I honestly, this is my first time vlogging. You probably see my kitty back here. Hi, kitty. She doesn't like me. No, this is my first time vlogging, and honestly, I hear that the first time is a little awkward because you don't really know what to say. I don't really know what to say. But no, it's something that I've always wanted to do. Try and connect with my family. So, hey fam, if you're watching. And if you're not my family, hey fam, if you're watching. No, and it's just something where I thought maybe I might have some interesting stories to tell, especially living in a foreign country. Now, this is my last year living in China. I will be going back to America in August, so I'm not here for too much longer, but I can kind of tell you some of the stories of when I've been living here. Now, I hear a lot of people, the first thing people ask when I tell them, oh yeah, I live in China, is it safe? We hear a lot about, communism and the government just being controlling. And yeah, there are some things that, when I'm living here, I have to be aware of. I can't go out and say, I hate the government. No. That's a big no-no. And if I travel, if I go to Taiwan, for instance, you have to be very careful about how you phrase things. You can't go to Taiwan and say, oh, it's great to be in a new country. It's like, no, Taiwan's part of China if you're living in China because you can get deported. And so that's just one of the things where it's you have to be conscientious of where you're living. And, like I was saying, a lot of people ask, oh, is it safe? Is it safe? What's the crime rate like there? And honestly, I feel super safe here. I've been living currently in Nanjing for 4 years, and before that I did a study abroad to Dalian. Dalian's a northeastern port city, pretty famous international port city. But yeah, so out of the 5 years that I've been here in China, there's only been about one time, just the one time that I haven't felt safe. And it's one of those, I kept my head about me. I followed common sense. And honestly, the guy was so stupid, ugh. I guess I shouldn't be bragging about how stupid my stalker was. But yeah, so the story is that of a stalker. And yeah, it's one of those where as a foreigner, they tell us, we stand out, especially if you have lighter hair. I don't. I have dark brown hair, so I don't stand out as much. But I'm a bigger foreigner. I'm not a thin person, so I'm a bigger foreigner. I have very white skin, so we stand out. So they always tell us, be careful because you stand out. And so, I had gone across the street. I live here in this cute little apartment. Yay! This is actually not the apartment I was living in when this happened. I lived upstairs. And so I just went across the street. There was a little park there where a lot of kids like to play. I like to go there to people watch. It's interesting to me. It's something my mom got me into. I had gone over this afternoon to just go and watch. And yeah, after a few hours of, I was reading a book, what people watching, how many times can I say people watching? And I had started to come home. And at this point, I was still relatively new to the area, so I hadn't really explored a lot. I like to explore. I honestly don't know where this camera's facing. Sorry, I'm so super professional. I'm doing this on my phone. In case you couldn't see in the mirror. Hi. So yeah, I'm holding up with my hand. Don't really know where it's facing. Oh, sorry. Yeah, nope, super professional here. But yeah, back to the story. And so I decided to walk home. I'm new to the area, newish. Yeah, I'd been there maybe a month or two. And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna walk down the street a little bit more, see a little bit more of what's on my street. And so I'm walking down, and as I'm walking down, I'm sending messages. Here in China, we use an app called WeChat. It's kind of like WhatsApp, except everyone here uses it. It's great. It's really convenient. You send voice messages, pictures, blah, 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 play games. It's basically their social media, Chinese social media. And so, I'm messaging one of my friends back in America. So I noticed this guy on this bright yellow bike, went into, bright yellow bike, neon yellow bike, like very obviously you noticed this bike. And then I also noticed that he had like custom wheels. They were very thin, and then they had a neon yellow band inside the tires. I'm just like, wow, that's an interesting bike. I don't know. Wonder where he got it from. I was just walking past a bike store, so maybe he got it from the bike store. Maybe I'll get a bike. Cool bike, bro. And so, he goes up, and in China, they have a lot of these, like, notice boards where they post a lot of the news or, like, policy updates or, information that the government wants people to know. And I see him stop and start reading it, and, I walk past him. I'm talking to my friend on WeChat, telling her about my day, telling her about, adjusting to China. And then I see the bright yellow bike pass me again. I'm like, oh, cool, yellow bike guy. Cool. I don't really remember his face even. Like, I think he was young, maybe like 30s. I don't know. I honestly just noticed the bike. And so, he goes up, and then I see that he stops again, and this time it's looking in a store. And I'm like, okay, my sensor is starting to go off a little like, I'm not going to be paranoid, but I'm going to keep my eye out. Pass him again, walk down the street a little bit more, and then I see him pass me again, and he does the same thing. Like, he gets, a fair bit away in front of me, and then he stops looking at something. I was just like, okay, I'm probably just being paranoid here. Like, seriously, like, it's China. I never felt unsafe in China, even coming home at 2 a.m. So I was just like, okay, let me test this. So I cross the street. I start going back the way we came. I was like, if this guy is not following me, he wouldn't be going back the way we came because we just came from there. And so, lo and behold, the guy follows me across the street. I'm just like, okay, this is not something that I want to be in. So I started telling my friend, I'm like, hey, I have this guy following me. So I'm going to message a couple of my coworkers and see if maybe they can call me, because I know one of the good things to do is be on the phone, because, I'm in contact with someone. That was the other thing. I was talking to my friend. Like, I was very obviously, like, sending messages, listening to messages, sending messages. So I was talking to someone. And so I start going back, and I'm messaging people. I'm like, hey, could you call me real fast? I can't really explain right now. Sadly, none of my friends got any of the messages. I was like, lovely. And I was getting a little worried because I was getting closer and closer to my apartment building, and I didn't want to show him where I lived, but it's midday too. I forgot to mention that it's midday. This guy was on this bright yellow bike, like midday on a very crowded street. Like, I'm downtown Nanjing. I'm just like, bruh. And so thankfully I see my real estate agent. And here in China, they don't really like hang out in their real estate offices and then they come out to show houses or apartments. This guy he's just always around here, and he's really helpful. So I was like, hey, Bamboo. Yes, his name's Bamboo. So I was like, hey, Bamboo, start chatting with him. We're right in front of my apartment building, but I'm like, hopefully this doesn't look like I live here. So I start talking to Bamboo. I'm just like, hey, so this guy's following me. Like, I point him out on the yellow bike, because now the guy on the yellow bike is completely off his bike, looking around, trying to pretend that he's not paying attention to me. And I was like, do you think you could help me? It's okay, when I said midday, it's like late afternoon, so it's starting to get dark, but like not really dark, because at that time, people could just come and go as they pleased. And now we have a little bit more security measures where people have to have a card to come up. I was just like, I don't really feel comfortable going back to my apartment because, what if he follows me to the elevators? So Bamboo gets me on his motorbike. So in China, motorbikes are very common. The guy was on just like a normal pedal bike. But so Bamboo, I get on his motorbike and we kind of, e-bike, not really motorcycles, e-bike. So I get on Bamboo's e-bike and he takes me to this one bar, and there are a lot of foreigners there. It's by a college, so there's there. He dropped me off because I was on his e-bike, yellow bike dude just starts following us. I'm like, bruh, like you're not gonna keep up with us. We can obviously go faster. We have a motor. And so we get to this bar and Bamboo drops me off and he's like, hey, I'm gonna try and go find him. And so Bamboo does find him, does end up finding him. Yellow bike guy just completely lost track of us, didn't really recognize Bamboo and didn't realize that Bamboo was following him now. Ha! Plot twist. And he apparently just kept trying to find me, like going up and down different streets trying to find me. I'm like, that is so super creepy. And honestly, like, I was a little upset. Like, I'd never really had an experience like that before. Like, and this was around the same time as the Me Too movement, like, started gaining traction. So I was just like, thankfully I was, I'm a foreigner in a foreign country. I kept my head about me. I got out of a dangerous situation. I don't even know if it was dangerous. The guy could have been just curious for all I know. But like, I'm thankful that nothing did happen. And then, 3 years later, here I am, still no more times that I felt unsafe. So it's just one of those where, like, that's one of the biggest questions I always get is China safe? Like, and these aren't people being vindictive or like malicious. These are people like honestly curious about what it's like living in China. Like, is it like when I'm in Washington, D.C. and I can't go down a back alley when it's dark? Honestly, I've been out and about in both Dalian and in Nanjing at 2 o'clock in the morning where I've never felt unsafe except for that one time, which was in the middle of the day. Again, guy wasn't smart. But yeah, so I guess that's my first story time. So I'll see how this goes. See how long the video ends up being. See if it takes 12 hours to render, and maybe I'll do more vlogs in the future just to see. Yeah. So hopefully I'll be able to show you a little bit more about me in the coming vlogs. Like I said, I've heard someone say the first vlog's the hardest because you don't know exactly what to say and what format you want to do, and that it gets easier as time goes on. And it's just one of those where I'd like to share some of my stories because I have seen a bit. I have videos from all my travels, so it's something where I can talk a little bit about my stories and let you in. So thanks for listening. If you want to share any of your Me Too movements or Me Too stories or any of your like stupid people stories, share in the comments down below, and I do hope that you guys communicate. That's the whole point of doing this, is being able to connect with people, not my cat. I'm the crazy cat lady. But yeah, so write a comment down below because I like talking to people, and I'm not gonna ask for likes or subscribes because you honestly don't know if you're gonna like my content, because honestly I don't know what my content is exactly. So if you want to explore with me, definitely subscribe. Oh god, I don't want to be one of those people. Nope. So keep an eye out for my next vlog if I decide to keep this up. So later. I need to sign off. Bye. I'll think of a better sign off later. But yeah, see you next time. Bye bye.